Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Welcome to all my listeners to yet another episode. As always, I'm happy to be recording this episode for you, and I hope it will give you some deep and life-changing food for thought. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. In this podcast, we discuss numerology as a path for inner transformation, inner growth, self-understanding, and spiritual expansion. My personal approach is making numerology accessible and applicable for everyday life matters so that you can use it in practical and grounded ways to make your life better and to live it from a much deeper and more conscious and aligned place. Now, a few important things you should know about if you want to dive deeper into numerology and live a life of purpose. I highly recommend you book a numerology reading to get to know yourself on a profound level and expand your consciousness. In a reading, you can ask any question that is burning in your life and get crystal clear answers that will lead you to the next step on your path of inner growth, of spiritual growth. Contact me through the link in the podcast or episode description to book your reading with me. Next, if you wish to pursue a career with meaning and purpose, a career that leaves a positive and transformative impact on yourself, people, and the world, and if you want to be a consciousness expansion leader, then I'm inviting you to pursue numerology as a career path. Join me on my complete path of certification from beginner to numerology expert and start making a true impact on people's lives and enjoy a career with purpose, growth, and creativity. To read more, check out the link in the podcast and episode description and contact me to know more. And lastly, if you enjoy this podcast and want to keep learning more grounded, applicable, and high-quality numerology, make sure to click the follow or subscribe button on the platform you're listening from and become part of my numerology family and get updated with my latest podcast episodes. Without further ado, let us dive into today's topic. So have you ever looked at all those people that are able to generate loads of money, always have unending energy and motivation to work hard, and felt as if you simply don't have these inner resources? As if you're lagging behind? I'm sure many of you did. I did too. First things first, nothing is wrong with you. On the contrary, you are perfectly wonderful and should not be like anybody else. It is but natural that the loudest voices of society will be made up of those who have the natural energy resources and type of dominance to create strong societal images of how every human should behave in this world and what counts as success or failure. But in truth, which can be confirmed through numerology, we see that different people have different roles, energies, and constitutions. So let us explore the various roles and see how each one of us is needed exactly as we are, and how we are all here to fulfill a unique role as part of the greater body of humanity. Let's talk about energetic compositions. Every number and every number combination manifests a unique energetic composition. Each composition has unique characteristics, tendencies, capacities, and shortcomings. Some are more energetic and outgoing, others more geared towards long-term goals. Some are less materialistic but more focused inwards. Some are shy and introverted. Others have unique listening and healing abilities. Some are builders, and the list goes on and on. Numerology shows us pretty clearly that the universe and humanity need many types of people and energetic compositions in order to have a balanced and complete experience of life. The very fact that we all have different charts designed at birth is the living proof that all roles are needed. You are needed, just as you are. Our society is mainly influenced by the loudest and most energetic voices. That's but natural. But it doesn't mean that these voices represent the truth, and definitely not the truth of everyone. Those who are energetic by nature have the capacity for dominance and for asserting and imposing their ideas on society. As a result, ideas and ideals are formed of how one should be and live in order to be considered enough or successful, quote unquote. But the truth is much bigger than that, and it includes all the colors of the rainbow, all the range and spectrum of energies and energetic compositions. By embracing this truth, we can all realize that reality needs us all. The dominant, the shy, the practical, the thinker, the imaginative, the meditator, the entrepreneur, the preserver, and so on. We all provide something indispensable to the living organism of humanity. Remember, numerology, in the way I teach it, is always about transformation. And transformation always starts with the first step, which is embracing profoundly and fully who we are without reservations. It's about the deepest form of self-acceptance. And that's what we're also pointing to in this current episode. Now let's look at the number personality types. We'll start by talking about the dominant types. So people with core numbers such as 8 and 1 will naturally tend to be more dominant, powerful, and aggressive in their ways. They will have the natural energy resources to move with intensity, push through obstacles, and become achievers. Those with 8s and 9s will be very powerful, charismatic, and fiery, and will be able to achieve enormous goals with an almost insatiable and unstoppable energy. People with 5s and 8s will have a natural knack for business, sales, and manipulating reality in their favor. They too will have lots of energy reservoirs. And if you raise this up a notch and look at number groups, then naturally those with 1, 8, and 9 in their core numbers, and believe me, I've seen enough of these people, will be very ambitious, capable, charismatic, pushing to the top. They will be natural leaders and have a strong influence on others. These combos could also be entrepreneurs. And I could go on and on. Naturally, I teach much more about this topic and the way to work with number combos and number groups in my in-depth study program. Now, before we move on to the builder and worker types, here's a quick reminder. I highly recommend you book a numerology reading to get to know yourself on a profound level and expand your consciousness. Any burning question can be clearly answered during a reading and lead you to the next step on your path of inner growth and spiritual expansion. Contact me through the link in the podcast or episode description to book your reading with me. And if you wish to pursue a career with meaning and purpose, if you want to positively impact people and the world, and if you want to be a consciousness expansion leader, you're invited to pursue numerology as a career path. Join me on my complete path of certification from beginner to numerology expert and start making a true impact on people's lives and enjoy a career with purpose, growth, and creativity. To read more, check out the link in the podcast or episode descriptions. Moving on, let's talk about the builder and worker types. Those with core number 4 and 6 will tend to develop stability in whatever they do. They are consistent personalities and know how to build structures of any kind for the long run. They are naturally geared towards establishing deep and long-lasting roots. They have good work ethics and are natural providers. Also, those with 4 and 2 in their core numbers will be builders, but of a quieter kind. More, I would say, preservers. But still, the preserving element is a form of building. Slow but steady. People with 4 and 8 will certainly be very hard workers and often even define their life through work and hard-earned achievement, something that isn't achieved through lots of effort and sweat. For them is not really considered an achievement. The number group of 4, 6, and 8 are also solid and reliable builders and can commit themselves to big loads of work. Their job is not to be the entrepreneurs of this world, but the ones building, sustaining, and managing the foundations and the organizational elements for humanity. Beautiful, right? We're starting to see the different tendencies of different people, different energetic compositions and structures. Let's move on and talk about the thinker and meditator type. So those with 2 and 7 as their core numbers will be naturally inclined to perceive the subtler dimensions of life, of the inner workings of the human, of the psyche, of the energies, and be more of an observer type. People with 7 and 9 in their core numbers will be deep and abstract thinkers, often moving in the direction of spiritual wisdom, meditation, and bestowing knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration on others. Those with 4 and 7, it's a bit of an exception here, will be a combination of thinkers and researchers, and perhaps include an interesting combination of the ability to think deep, but also be practical about it. These people will have the job, and I'm talking about the entire group of thinkers and meditators, these people will have the job of showing and opening us to the deeper spiritual wisdom of life and help us understand the unseen world that moves us from deep within. perhaps with the exception of 4 and 7, that stands somewhere in between the thinker-meditator type and the worker type. Let's move to the last type for this episode, the artistic type. So people with 3 and 6 in their core numbers will be artistic, naturally gifted with an eye for beauty, music, painting, and writing. They love to create and add beauty to this world. Those with 2 and 5 will also be very juicy, artistic, and sexy, and love to taste life through their senses and express art, sensuality, and sometimes even art through movement, through the body. Number groups like 3, 6, and 9, or 3, 5, and 9 will be very creative people, full of color, beauty, and ability to express themselves. These are the types that bring art and beauty into our world and society. Now, I could go on and describe more types of people and include many more number combinations and number groups. And this indeed I teach in my in-depth numerology studies. But what I want to convey in this episode is that we all have a role. Builders should not be entrepreneurs, and meditators should not be builders. Artists should create beauty and not waste their energy on doing the builder's work, and so on. By embracing the vast range of unique expressions humanity has and needs, we can not only accept ourselves deeply, but realize that we all are needed. Yes, we are really needed the way we are. Our job is not to mimic someone else's type, no matter how dominant or charismatic they are, or how strongly society currently supports their way of living and viewing what is good, bad, success, or failure. Rather, as growing numerologists, we are meant to develop our own type and bring it to an ever-increasing flowering so that we can fulfill our unique role in society and for humanity and enjoy being the unique flower that we are. I believe that this is a wonderful vision for a peaceful, creative, and happy humanity. And I believe this is a liberating vision that allows everyone to just be at peace with what they were given at birth, who they are, and not be in a struggle with themselves, their natural energies, and to drop all the unnecessary conflict and finally see the beauty, the goodness, and the purpose in the unique blueprint and energetic composition that they are, that you are. So, as always, my friend, I hope this keeps inspiring you to see the beauty in numerology, the power, the empowering element in numerology, and the way that it can expand your consciousness and also put order in your psyche and psychology. And lastly, don't forget, I highly recommend you book a numerology reading to get to know yourself and expand your consciousness. Remember that all burning questions can be clearly answered. All you need to do is contact me through the link in the podcast or episode description to book your reading with me. And if you want to positively impact people in the world and want to be a consciousness expansion leader, I invite you to pursue numerology as a career path. Join me on my complete path of certification from beginner to numerology expert and start making a true impact on people's lives and enjoy a career with purpose, growth, and creativity. To read more, remember to check out the link in the podcast or episode description. And lastly, my friend, if you enjoyed this episode and you like this podcast and want to keep learning more grounded, applicable, and high-quality numerology, make sure to click the follow or subscribe button on the platform you're listening from and become part of my numerology family and get updated with my latest podcast episodes. Okay, my friend, thank you so much for listening. As always, I'm here for you, and I'll see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.